Hello, this is Jimmy again, and welcome back after Easter to Derivatives and Risk Management. So this week I just wanted to alert you first of all to the guest speaker that's coming on Wednesday. So this time around it's Susan Hayes-Culleton, and Susan actually is somebody who took this module a number of years ago. And if you look at her LinkedIn profile, which I'll share with you, you'll see that after graduation, she didn't take the normal corporate route into banking or investments. Instead, she effectively became an entrepreneur by setting up a whole series of different ventures, including training companies, including her own investments company, and finally also, and in particular that's relevant to ourselves here, she's also set up a company that teaches people how to trade derivatives and in particular options. So with that in mind, I think it'd be quite interesting to listen to what Susan has to say, both in terms of her personal experience but also her knowledge of derivatives. And so therefore, if you have any questions, practical questions essentially on options trading, I think that would be a good opportunity for you to ask those of Susan on Wednesday. This week then what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next part of derivatives, in terms of the third of the main derivatives contracts, namely swaps. So as we're going to see, swaps are a fairly new phenomenon, really only began in the 1980s, and since then, however, swap market has grown exponentially. And one measure of the size of interest rate swap market in particular puts them as the world's single largest financial market. So we're going to see basically how interest rate swaps work before we look at currency swaps, and then in later classes we're going to look at more what they call exotic swaps, which are basically just advanced swaps. And one such application of swaps then we will also be looking at are credit default swaps. And CDSs are particularly relevant when companies or countries are in a difficult situation when it comes to credit risk. So we'll talk about that in the context of credit derivatives. So that's basically what we're going to look at this week. Again, swaps are one of the questions that's on the final assessment. So with that, I suppose it's just important again to understand the fundamentals of how swaps work. And again, they are quite different to both futures and options in terms of their methodology, valuation and operations. So that's basically it for this week. I trust that you're working away on the options assignment. As mentioned previously, the options assignment is also going to be relevant for the final assessment. So with that, I suppose I just wanted to advise, just take your time with the options assessment. It will come in useful then, as I said, in terms of learning how the options questions in the final assessment will also be, I suppose, similar in terms of the types of issues they'll be looking at, but not obviously exactly the same. So that's really it for this week. In future weeks, we're going to have additional guest speakers, but this week we're just going to have the one. Okay, thank you very much.